Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, namo namaha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org. Navaratri, the 9 nights of the Divine Mother Durga, her 9 incarnations. Shaila Putri, the daughter Putri of the mountains Shaila. Now, in order to understand this incarnation, we have to back up a step to the infamous story of Daksha and Sati and Shiva. And in this famous story, Sati was in love with Shiva, and her father Daksha, of course, did not like Shiva. Shiva was a wild man, spent his time meditating in the forest. But Sati's love was inexhaustible for Shiva. So her father Daksha held a huge yajna, a huge ceremony, sacrifice, in which he did not invite Mahadev. Shiva showed up at the ceremony. Daksha refused to admit him to the ceremony, and Shiva stormed out, not before throwing a lock of his hair down, which became the warrior Virabhadra. And this is very significant for this asana in Hatha Yoga. Virabhadrasana is the warrior pose, and it's often used in commercials promoting this false yoga of today. And little did these people know that this is so deep into an understanding of the Hindu yoga dharma. So Virabhadra overturned the whole yajna. And Sati, upset to say the least, jumped into the fire and burned herself up. And again, this is something that many invaders, colonists point to as something that's so evil about Hinduism. And believe me, this just doesn't really happen. Maybe some few isolated incidents. And of course, this is where we have to look at ourselves. I mean, the violence in America on a daily basis is unquestionable. So this is truly a symbolic story of her willing to sacrifice her entire life for her love for Shiva. So we come fast forward into her first incarnation as the daughter of the mountain, Shailaputri. And again, this is all happening on the cosmic plane, for she has parents. This is her as Parvati. And her parents are Himavan, father, and her mother is Mainyavati. And she actually has siblings, sister Ganga, brother Vishnu. Truly, Shiva and Vishnu then are brother-in-laws. Remember, Hindus, Harihara eka rupa guna shila. Shiva and Vishnu must always be seen as brothers. This is the harmony as a Hindu family of Saiva, Vaishnava, and Shaktite. So in Mother Durga's next incarnation, she becomes the Brahmacharini. This is symbolic now of she's again trying to win Shiva's love. And in life, this is the profound wisdom of remaining celibate to attract a good partner. Brahmacharini. This is also Kumari, the famous mandir in Tamil Nadu at the very tip, Kanyakumari, Cape Comorin, reminding us to keep our Brahmacharini status, Brahmachari status, until we decide to marry. Or if we choose to live the renunciate life, we choose just that. Her third incarnation becomes Chandraganta, where now she's meditating, again trying to win the love of Shiva. And she wears the moon in a bell shaped on her forehead as she goes into deep contemplation. In her next form, she becomes Kushmanda, the little cosmic egg, the center of Surya, the center of the sun, the true power, the true Shakti behind all things. Now she's ready to become the divine mother of Skanda, Skanda Mata. She and Shiva fully together now, and producing 2 beautiful sons, Ganapati and Skanda. In other words, Ganapati stands for intelligence and Skanda, the warrior. All devout Hindu parents should strive to raise intelligent and brave children. Then in her next incarnation, she becomes Katyayani. And in this case, she rides the lion. And it is in this incarnation that she defeats the demon, Mahishasura. She holds her hands in Abhya and Varada, reminding us that everything is okay if we do the right thing. In her next incarnation, here she comes out as Kala Ratri, nighttime, Mother Kali, the darkness, the blackness, the absolute. Not afraid of this cleansing, absolute blackness. Then in her next incarnation, she comes out as Mahagauri, in her fair skin, white skin, teaching us that we are the Atmana, regardless of black skin, white skin, whatever the outer superficiality is, it is just that. And as Mahagauri, she actually rides now Nandi, the bull. And then in her last 9th incarnation, she is Siddharthi Devi, as Parvati, as she comes full circle, a fully enlightened, illumined being. So this is the wisdom in the Hindu Yoga Dharma of the fact that we are the Atmana and we have to go through innumerable incarnations, innumerable experiences to have this realization, whether we take the form of a female or a male. For many Hindus, males, they look to Shiva as the great example of, if you're going to pursue the grihastha lifestyle, the family lifestyle, be dedicated to this lifestyle. He has one spouse, Parvati. He has 2 wonderful children, Ganapati and Skanda. And then he also epitomizes as Yogi Raj, the male who is ready to go off into renunciation. Meaning that when we enter into that life, we truly do that. We remain alone. We remain a celibate monk, for example. Now here in Navaratri with Ma Durga, who is now riding the tiger, Bengal. She reminds us this is the journey for the woman. It's a very similar journey as we go from being a brahmacharini to having a wonderful spouse, searching for that one spouse. And then we also become an autonomous individual, Kushmanda. And then we become that powerful woman that can defeat the demons in her life. And Mahagauri, as she fulfills all desires. And Siddharthi Devi, she comes full circle now as an autonomous, spiritually realized female. So as the Atmana, if we've taken on the incarnation as a female, strive to be a strong, accomplished, soulfully realized female. Don't be intimidated by anybody, one extreme. However, let's not go to the other extreme and be so overly emotional and erratic that we become violent. So too, for the Atmana who has taken on the male incarnation, we must respect our mothers. Show them that respect. Don't intimidate them, making them perhaps weak and feeling less than. And don't be violent towards them. Very bad karma, and you may be asking for much more than you can handle. Jai Mataji, Jai Kali Durga Parvati Mahalakshmi Saraswati. Jai Hindu Yoga Dharma.